All right. So,
Uh,
uh,
yeah.
thank you both for coming today. This may be the first time that you're speaking face to face after the issues that have arisen. This is what mediation is all about, bringing these issues to light in a safe environment. My role as your mediator is just to help you talk. I'd like to go over some of the information we discussed over the phone, but first, thank you for signing the consent to mediate in good faith. Let's dive in and speak honestly, respectfully, and let's be engaged in the conversation. You're here voluntarily and you're here because you want to fix the issue. So let's talk about why we're here and try to come up with some solutions. Everything that you say here will be kept confidential. When we reach some agreements, I will create a memorandum of understanding and we'll have all of us sign it. In front of you are papers and pencils. Please do not interrupt each other when speaking and instead jot down anything that comes to mind. We'll be able to ask these questions at a later time. I'm going to ask Andy to start and Tony to listen. At the end of Andy's time, I'll then ask you to switch roles. This will get us to talk and it'll lead to more constructive dialogue about how this problem arose and how to fix it. As your mediator, I cannot make these decisions for you, but I will help you. My dogs are nuts. Can't make these decisions for you, but I will help you both communicate with each other, and this will help start the conversation. Andy, if you could please get us started, tell me about why you are here.
Of course. So I have to commute 30 minutes to work every day, and I am totally happy to do it. I know that Tony works very hard and has given me a job that pays very well, but sometimes I feel like I'm a little underappreciated, and I feel like he doesn't necessarily understand that I can handle the tasks that he wants me to handle. I am taking care of my mom full time right now while I am not at work. I am at work from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m., 6 days out of the week, or nights, I should say. So, other than that, I am taking care of my mom. She is going through chemo and radiation, so I take her to her appointments. I pick up the food. I basically moved in with her so that I could help her with all of this. And Tony is aware of this and he was very understanding, but I feel like sometimes because of this, he thinks that I may be stressed out, and sometimes I do come in to work a little bit flustered maybe, but it never affects my efficiency at my job. I may not always look as good as he wants me to and sharp, but my day can get crazy and the customers still appreciate my work, and I've never really had an issue with them. So I feel like maybe it should be understood a little bit more by Tony that even though my life outside of work is pretty crazy right now, I am still able to perform my job. I think that's basically it right now. So,
Okay.
Thank you, Andy. If we could move on to hear what Tony has to say.
Yeah. Yeah. I. Hmm. Uh, I mean, I think that Andy is a very good worker and that she does what she's supposed to do. But I feel like she might not take. I guess I feel like she might not take the time that she needs to make sure she's at her full potential when she comes to work. And so I think she needs to, come in a little bit earlier and make sure, the bar is stocked, she has everything she needs, and, make sure everyone else is good to go. Um, and I also think that, when you're working with people in a bar environment, you need to make sure that you're looking your best in order to, appeal to those people and to make sure they are seeing you as a respectable individual. And so I think that, I think coming into work early and making sure that she's, looking her best is one of the issues that I have. But I also think that she seems to be really out of energy and really wiped sometimes when she comes into work. So it might be maybe we can look at a different shift or a different time frame where she might have more energy during the time she's at work. I think it's I can understand a lot of the a lot of what she's going through, and it can be really tough situation. And so I'm just trying to find some kind of compromise so we can make sure this works. Like I said, I think she's a really good worker, but I just want to make sure she's really reaching her full potential every day when she comes in.
I can definitely understand both of your sides to this argument. That must be challenging, taking care of a sick loved one, but at the same time, your business needs to run as efficiently as possible. So let's see here. Can you elaborate, Tony, on what you mean by she's not giving her full potential? What does a full potential look like to you?
For me, a lot of that comes down to doing all the things you need to do to make sure it'll be a successful day at work, where like she comes in generally, right around when her shift starts, and I think she needs to come in, 10 or 15 minutes early to make sure we have everything we need and that everything is fully stocked, and that the employees that she's working with are all aware of what they need to do and they're all ready to go. And so it's not, it's not a lot of that. And so I think there needs to be that time where she comes in and makes sure she's ready for the day before she actually starts the shift, instead of just, coming in the door and starting immediately and just getting on with it. And I think that's a major part of it, is just, I think she has, I think she can do it, and I think she can do it well. But if she's not taking that time to make sure it's all ready to go, then that creates a problem, and that can run into issues later in the shift.
I'm sorry, I may be a little confused here. Can you elaborate on if she gets paid for that time when she comes in early?
I don't think she does. I'm not sure,
And
to be honest.
Andy, what does your mother's health care schedule look like that you take her to these appointments?
It's pretty sporadic, but I actually have talked to Terry, the other bartender, about maybe trading a shift, and I was going to propose that idea to Tony, because I do feel like I am getting to the restaurant most days 10 minutes early, some days 5, some days even 20, and I do think that I should be getting paid for that time. I even call ahead and ask Terry what's going on in the restaurant, how busy it is, if there's anything crazy that I should be aware of before my shift, to determine when I do come in. I feel like I am more than capable of doing what's expected of this job. I feel like I do come in early, and so maybe an earlier shift will help with the crazy schedule with my mother, but again, I feel like my emotions will never affect my work ethic.
Okay. Tony, do you have anything to add before we move on to the next portion?
I think I could I do get to make decisions on what she is paid, and so maybe we could look into paying for that time that she comes in early, and make sure, maybe we set it so it's a specific time before every shift or something. I'm not sure. We can talk about ideas. And I also had no idea that you were calling Terry to make sure to get a heads up of what everything was like. I think that's a good way to take the initiative there and figure out what it's like before you even come in. I think that's a really good idea, and I appreciate that. But yeah, we can go to the next section.
Well, thank you for sharing. It sounds like we're creating some dialogue that wasn't necessarily there before, and learning about the other person's perspective. From what I'm hearing from both of you, it sounds like potential talk about shift change, or at least some sort of swap in the schedule for a couple days would be a topic of interest. It sounds like another topic of interest may be the work attire, that needs to be addressed and be stepped up a little bit in order to please your customers. And it also sounds like it's a work ethic issue with coming to work 100% committed. Did I miss anything in the topics list that you guys would like to address?
Mm-mm.
I think that's about it, yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like we've already come to a couple possible solutions for the shift. You mentioned that you could potentially switch with Terry for a couple days a week. Did you want to potentially switch your entire shift to the earlier, or did you just want to change a couple days?
Just a few would be good. Maybe occasionally we can swap shifts, and Terry and I can talk about it at the beginning of the week, as long as Tony is okay with us switching whenever it may meet the expectations and when it may meet the schedule with my driving to appointments and extra grocery shopping and the 30-minute drive and all that. It just depends on what the week looks like, and Terry agreed that he would love to help me out with some of that, as long as Tony is okay with it.
Yeah, I think we can give it a shot, and we can see, how these swaps work when you first start doing them. We'll do like a little trial period and see how we're feeling about it and whatnot. And if you're having issues, or you have appointments, or what have you, and you have a lot of, I understand it can be really busy taking care of your parents like that, and I think it's very admirable. And so if there's something that comes up in the way, just try to give me a call and see what's going on, and we can try to work something out. Just that way I know there's issues going on, and I don't know you're just slacking off or what have you. I know there's actually something happening that'll prevent you from coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think we can try it, and we can see what these shift changes, switching them around and seeing what they might do. Maybe you'll eventually fully take over for Tony or Terry. Sorry, but maybe you'll eventually fully take over for him. But we'll see how it goes. A few days at a time, and we'll see what happens and how it works in the long run.
Sounds like a great solution. The next one I would like to tackle would be work ethic. I understand that Tony feels like Andy is not giving her full when she's at work, and that she may be a little preoccupied. Maybe something that I propose would be that Andy does come maybe 10, 15 minutes early to get her mind in the game. And if Tony is willing to pay for that extra time, Andy, would that be something that you'd be interested in, coming in early?
Absolutely. I do feel that I have been coming in early most days. So at least 10 minutes early, 5 on Sundays when I'm a little bit behind on schedule. But I'm absolutely willing to do that now that there's pay involved for my time.
If you can, make sure you're coming in on that time, regularly, then yeah, we can definitely work at getting you paid for it. I think that's entirely an option.
And since we want tangible numbers to look at, how early, Tony, would you like her there?
I would say 15 minutes. Try to do that 15 minutes, and I can understand sometimes things may pop up and may end up only being 10 minutes or whatever, but just try your best to make that 15. That's okay. I think that's a good time frame to make sure you are all mentally prepared and emotionally prepared to handle the shift that you have coming up.
Okay, I agree.
Perfect. And the last one on our topics list is work attire. Potentially, could this be grouped into work ethic, where you need to get your mind in the game a little bit more before work, and so you would come dressed and prepared to go? Is that something that you're willing to work on, Andy, or Tony? Is that something that we need to look at the dress code for your employees?
I am willing to make sure that I don't look so frazzled and flustered, and make sure that I'm looking more sharp right when I walk through those doors. So.
Right. Yeah, that's mostly what I'm asking for. Just make sure your hair and makeup is done well, and your pants aren't wrinkled or just make sure you're looking like you're nice and clean, ready to take care of some customers.
That's great. I'm so glad we could come to these solutions. So it looks like what we have is that Terry and Andy will switch shifts occasionally on a trial period. Tony will be informed, and he will be the one to ultimately make the decision if it's working or not. And it's only going to be a couple days a week. The next one we have is that Andy will come early with pay. She'll come 15 minutes early. Occasional late days are acceptable. And that'll give her time to get her mind in the game before work. And she will try to be a little bit more presentable in her work attire in order to commit to her full potential, as Tony said earlier. Does that sound like everything? Did I miss anything?
Just that I would hope to be more and feel more appreciated and like I can handle the tasks at hand. Sometimes I feel a little bit like Tony doesn't feel like I can do it.
Well, I can understand that. Maybe I haven't been, giving you as much appreciation or as much respect as you may deserve. And so I think I can try to make sure I'm giving you the tasks that are, you're capable of doing, and make sure that you are doing your job and doing it well. And I don't think I necessarily need to try to, I guess, I don't know. I guess I don't need to give you as hard of a time as I have been, and I can try to make sure you are fully appreciated for what you do.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It sounds like we have covered everything. I will get this written document typed up here so that way we can all sign it and we can move forward with these practices in place and hopefully a better work balance for both of you.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
All right.